biggest disappointment of this episode is that the Doctor didn't keep wearing the tartan patterned scarf and the little tam o' shanter. That would have been amazing. It was a great look. Doctor Who classic review time. Terror of the Zygons. Before I get into this, just a quick note. If you are seeing this within the week that it comes out, I'm going to be at the Gallifrey 1 convention in Los Angeles on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you see me there, if you're attending, feel free to say hi. Anyways, so the original appearance of the Zygons, initially a one-appearance monster until they were revived in the modern era. This is a Fourth Doctor story along with Sarah Jane and Harry. And it's pretty good. I can see why it left an impression for a lot of folks, the Zygons especially. They're very distinct. I actually really like their technology being as fleshy as it is. Like when you see the interior of the ship and like their controls, it's like little organic protuberances and stuff like that. It's barnacle-like at times. It's a nice touch and something I wouldn't necessarily expect to see, I mean, honestly, from something made in the 70s at all, but especially on a BBC budget. So that was neat. I like the design of the Zygons. I don't super love the actual costumes, though. The modern ones are much better, which is standard, although like some of the old stuff still looks good. The issue with the Zygons is you can very clearly see the cutoff where the mask just has a hole in it and they're just talking through the hole. Like you can tell it's not connected. And that was kind of off-putting for me. I also don't love, and again, this is very standard for Doctor Who, I don't love that they made them do the alien whisper voice, which is basically what they had everybody other than the Daleks and the Cybermen did some variant of the alien whisper if they were the villains. Like if they were aliens that the Doctor was just encountering, yeah, no, they wouldn't necessarily do that. But yeah, villainous alien species, they did that a lot. It was kind of the standard go-to. But this one has the Doctor and company, as well as Unit, because the Brig's in this one as well. And boy, that first episode sure makes a big point of going, Scotland! You got to have a guy talking about how he needs someone to send him some good haggis. And you have a landlord in the building that the Brig is set up in, loves to play the bagpipes. And his name's Angus, because of course it is. And the Brig's wearing a kilt. And as I said, the Doctor, initially at least, shows up in a tartan patterned scarf and a little tam o' shanter. And yeah, it's very Scotland in your face. It's kind of adorable. The accents are a little bit of a mixed bag. There's like the character of Huckle, who I think was trying to do a Scottish accent. Like it sounded like he was trying, at least in his first few scenes. It also kind of sounded like he gave up. The actor was Canadian. I checked that. So yeah, that didn't quite work. But then the guy that they had playing Angus is actually Scottish, has a lovely voice, and the actor is actually named Angus as well. So a little bit of a mix there. But that's our setting, and it sort of initially kind of leans into sort of the mysticism of the area. You know, the tales of people getting lost on the moors and the fog rolling in. And Angus is the seventh son of a seventh son, so supposedly has the sight. And it could have been done very mockingly, and it's not. I mean, it's not necessarily done reverently, but it's done casually enough that it just kind of felt like flavor and atmosphere. Like one tiny detail that I really like is when Sarah Jane is talking with Angus, and you know the idea of you know the sight and you know things out there, you know, the demonic or fairy presences or whatever. Sarah Jane doesn't dismiss the idea. What she does dismiss is like, these things don't attack oil rigs, and that's what we're here to investigate. So no matter what, they're not doing this. And that's a small thing. It's a small difference between her just dismissing the concept and her going, okay, they're not doing what we're here to look into, though. And I don't know, it's a small touch I love. I actually think this is one of the better outings for Sarah Jane. They do make a habit of having her pretty decent distance away from the action, as is typical, but she does get to actually do helpful stuff. She gets to do some journalism stuff. She gets to, research stuff, look for information. She actually is the one who rescues Harry in a fun little beat, because by that point it's been established that the Zygons can appear as another person, and so she has to check to make sure it's Harry. And when he calls her old girl, she's like, "Oh, that's him." I'm like, sexism for the win. And, as much as I don't love the Harry calling her old girl thing, making a beat out of it like that's cute. That's a good way to do it. I like that. So I'd say this is one of Sarah Jane's better goes. She takes initiative at a couple of points and is a lot more this is the version of Sarah Jane I like. When I think of Sarah Jane, I think of episodes like The Time Warrior, and now this, where she is given a lot more agency and a lot more initiative, and she's not just the damsel, which they had a tendency to do with her. I think Ark in Space is, at least from off the top of my head, the biggest offender of that. I don't like how that story treats her at all. But we do still get, thankfully, instances of the Sarah Jane that I like. Which is a lot more what we get here, which is nice. They do kind of sideline Harry for a bit of this, which I'm okay with. I'm kind of neutral on Harry. Like, he's fine. He's fine. He's whatever. Oddly, the Doctor feels like he doesn't have nearly as much to do in this as is usual. Like, he's sniffing around, he's looking into stuff, but maybe partly as a side effect of Sarah Jane getting to do a lot more of the investigation, the Doctor kind of feels a little bit like a sidebar, more or less until the end, when he gets captured by the Zygons and then has the opportunity, to stop their whole plan. And like, Tom Baker still does good work with it. He basically, if you remember the 10th Doctor at the end of Family of Blood having his little "you shouldn't have let me push all those buttons" moment, Fourth Doctor kind of has something similar going on in this towards the climax, which I enjoyed. The effects actually, some of them are decent. Like the morphing effect on the Zygons, like, it's not convincing in a traditional sense, but like, it's a solid effect for the time. The Loch Ness Monster is adorable. I kind of love it when classic Doctor Who tries to do really big monsters, because it can't. It can't. It doesn't have the time, the budget, or the means. It just doesn't. And they try anyway sometimes, and it's adorable. It's adorable that they're trying. But yeah, I haven't really talked plot, but I mean, it's a pretty standard uncovering an alien, threat kind of story. They come in because, oil rigs have been getting destroyed. They're trying to find out why. They eventually find that the Zygons are here. Interesting thing for me with this was that the Zygons being refugees because their home planet is gone is in this. Like, I kind of assumed when they showed up again in Modern Who that was a newer invention, and like tying to the fact that multiple species had lost their planets, like in the Time War. That was something that was hinted at a fair bit, especially in the first series, like with the Gelth and stuff like that. So I figured they had kind of imposed that on the Zygons. No, it's here right from the get-go, which is interesting. It's sort of just a little bit more nuanced to them, because it doesn't mean like they are trying to take over the planet, but they're not doing it for its own sake. They're doing it because they don't have their own planet, and they're going to try to take over this one. And not that makes their actions justified, but it does give them a slightly different rationale. And I like it. Again, a lot of little small touches kind of boost this up a little more than it might otherwise be, because on paper, it's a pretty standard Doctor Who adventure, but it's a well put together one by and large. I will say, like, the episode 2 has the big exposition dump where the head Zygon, his name is Broton. I kept hearing it as Proton, which was very goofy, but like that wasn't what it was. But he basically spills the entire backstory to Harry for no real, like, there is a reason why they don't kill Harry. Again, another touch that I really like is they come up with a really good rationale for why they aren't just killing the people that they are killing some people, but they're not just killing the people that they capture. So with someone like Harry, they capture him and they keep him alive so that they have a living template to model the imitation on, which again, something that carried over into the modern era and is a really cool thing because it keeps a shape-shifting creature from being, well, frankly, overpowered. Because, like, let's be honest, shape-shifting, if a character, especially a villain, is really good at it, really kind of should be unbeatable in a lot of circumstances. There is often a contrived moment where, like, they'll revert back to their real form and, like, be spotted by somebody, and it's like, okay, that's writer's contrivance, because otherwise these people would have no idea that they're dealing with a shapeshifter. So I think a really interesting and I think kind of a wise way to sort of nerf their shape-shifting ability is to have it be that they can only do it for someone who they've captured and have a template for. Like, that gives them, again, a little bit extra stuff that they need to do, makes it so they're not overpowered with what they do have the ability to do. Yeah. This is a pretty well thought out one. Like I said, like, little hiccups here and there. The Doctor seems mildly sidelined. The Loch Ness Monster is adorably camp. But yeah, I wouldn't put it as a top tier one, but upper half of the Fourth Doctor for sure. It's just well assembled. It's one of those things that doesn't really do anything new from a structure standpoint. Like, the Zygons are a new creature, and the shape-shifting gimmick is a little new, but fundamentally, in terms of what they're trying to do and the way the whole overall thing is structured, not really too much new, but it does pretty much everything right. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. This is very much a template kind of story where they investigate a weird thing and uncover aliens. Like, that's what this is. That's what so much of Doctor Who in any era has a tendency to be. But it's just well put together as a piece. I enjoyed this. Yeah, it's pretty solid. 4 parts was definitely the right length for it. They tried to stretch it out to more. It would have suffered. But yeah, good story, I think. Terror of the Zygons. You ever see this one? What'd you think of it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills, enables me to do this as my living. Even if you can't help me out that way, like, share, subscribe. Those all help as well. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Subin Lutfulla, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperol, Dave Hall, Oliver B, Mystic Shadow, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Becky Sparks, Ulrich, Twylord, Tracy Scrabbit, Palba Rabajoggle, Sir Didymus is my favorite, and thanking some random folks from the lower tiers of my Patreon: Puck, Lady Sammy, and Eva Bright. Don't worry, the rats are fine. Just thought we'd kick the year off with Archie. What you think, bud? He's skeptical.